We have the Canon EOS R5 and R6 announcement date. We also have the shipment dates for both cameras, but there's both good news and bad news. Let's get into it.
Delivering informative capability-based reviews and tutorials on camera gear, filming techniques, and content creation.
Hi, I'm Simon and this is The Ordinary Filmmaker. If you're new here, subscribe to get notification of new videos as they come out, just like this one, so you won't miss any news. And all the links to everything I talk about in this video, including gear discussed, are placed in the description down below. Now, before I get into today's very exciting news, just a reminder that I'm giving away this Canon 50mm EF lens, the 1.8 STM. If you'd like a chance to win it, just simply subscribe to my channel. That's it. I do have more details down in the description. And now for the big news we've all been waiting for, the announcement date. First of all, a big thanks to Canon Rumors. Canon Rumors says the announcement date is going to be July the 9th. Now, based on my sources, I do believe that it's going to be announced in Japan or Australia, which means that that would be July the 8th Eastern time. And what that normally means is we would get it around 11 o'clock to midnight. So we'll have to see if that pans out, but it's definitely going to be July the 9th. It just depends on whether it's going to be announced in Japan or Australia as to what time. We'll get the announcement here in Europe and in North America. So that's really exciting news. Now, along with these two cameras, along with the R5 and the R6, we're going to get a bunch of lenses and two teleconverters. Let's take a look. This picture, courtesy of Canon Rumors, we of course get the two bodies, but we also get the Canon RF 50mm f1.8, which is image stabilized, the 7200 f4, which is also image stabilized, and the 85mm f2, also stabilized. And of course, this one is no surprise. Along with the development announcement, Canon told us about the 100 to 500mm f4 to 7.1, which is also stabilized. Now these two lenses, the 600mm and 800mm, are confirmed at f11. And this is what's confusing a lot of people. Now, based on the information we've been able to research, these lenses are more or less for, well, when the sun's up. So around 10 o'clock in the morning till about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. They're great for capturing wildlife where you've got a lot of light in the safaris, or not even just safari, but anywhere where you've got good light. What is the price? That's what we don't know. We don't know the price for anything here other than the R5, which we do strongly believe is going to be under $4,000 and somewhere between $37.99 and $39.99 based on yesterday's video, which puts the release price at 4,500 euros. Now, don't be too concerned about that price. Remember, Europe has rather high taxes, which is built into the price. I did put out a video just yesterday, or I think the day before, just talking about what that means for the US price. So go ahead and watch that video if you want more details on the pricing. But as far as these two lenses, the 600 and 800mm, they are differential optics. It is image stabilized. We'll just have to wait a couple of weeks to see who Canon thinks these lenses are for. So that's going to be interesting. That's one of the pieces to the puzzle we're waiting to see. And of course, what are the full specifications for these cameras? If you've been waiting and you've been thinking, well, I'm thinking of the R5, or I'm thinking of getting a Sony Alpha, or whatever you're looking at getting, maybe an EOS R, maybe another camera, wait till July the 9th. Wait till you see the full specifications and then make your decision. And now for the really bad news. This is terrible, guys. You're going to hate this. First of all, the R6. Now, Lolita and others who have been really looking forward to this camera, the good news is you're going to get your camera first. It's going to start shipping in August. But for those of us who've been really dead set on the EOS R5, we've got more waiting. You're going to be waiting right till the end of summer. We're talking about September before it starts shipping. I hope that's September the 1st and not September the 30th. The wait this year is terrible. Now, if we didn't have this current global economic situation, we would have these cameras already shipping. Well, maybe not now, but July. We'd have these cameras shipping in July. So that's the really frustrating thing. What do you guys think? This is really good news. Now we actually have a date. We've had a lot of speculation. It could be the 30th. It could be the 2nd. It could be the 1st. It could be the 6th. We know it's going to be July 8th, 9th. The only thing we don't know is if it's going to be coming out of Japan or Australia, which they could very much do, or if it's going to be coming out of North America. Now, with the 1DX Mark III, I think they announced it, and it was right around, I think, of 5 or 6 o'clock Eastern time. So it really depends. And as soon as I know, I'll let you know. So go ahead and subscribe so that you get notification of new videos as soon as they come out. I do my best to get things out right away. But I'm super excited about this. I just hate waiting again. This year keeps drawing out more and more. Like the R5 this is just insane. But from a YouTube channel point of view, well, dragging this out isn't necessarily a bad thing because we've got more information to report on. So what else can we expect? Well, we're looking for prices on the lenses. We're looking for prices on the R6. Many of you keep asking me, what do you think the price is going to be? Now, I look at the R6 in a way as a successor to the EOS R, and really Canon looks at the EOS R as a one-off, same with the RP. But I'm using the price of the EOS R. I think that's the closest we have to what the R6 can be. Canon's already told us that the R5 is a 5 series camera. So I think and obviously the specs in the R6 are quite a bit less than the R5, and that's why I look to the EOS R as a baseline for price. And the EOS R, I think it was $22.99 US when it came out. And it didn't sell too well, and the price has come down significantly to where it's around $1,800 now. So I expect it to release for around $1,900 to $2,300. Will it go much lower? Well, here's the thing. If they've fixed a lot of what people didn't like in the EOS R, and a lot of firmware, several firmware updates did fix a lot of the issues that with the EOS R when it first came out. And the problem is, because there were so many issues when it first came out, all the reviews were bad, but it's actually a very good camera. It is a mirrorless version of the 5D Mark IV, and it improves upon a lot of features, although in some areas it's not as good. But the R6, I really think is going to be considerably better than the EOS R, and if that's the case, well, Canon, the way they like to do pricing, if they feel they've got a good camera, they're not going to put it on super sale. They're going to give you a good price point, and if that's the case, then I think it's going to be right around $2,200. I don't think we're going to see $1,900. I would love that. I'd love them to shock us and say it's going to be $1,900, and come out and say that the EOS R5 is going to be around $3,600, but I don't think that. Oh, one thing on the EOS R price, I have been hearing some news from trusted sources that in Australia, if we look at the Australian price that we're being told, it looks like it could come in around $3,700. But while these sources are trusted, where they're getting the information from is very untrusted. So I consider it an CR0, which is why I haven't done anything on it. So the price for the EOS R5, I still think is going to be between $37.99 and $39.99. We've got a $200 price range there. Anything over $4,000, I just don't think is going to happen. Remember, this is a 5 series camera. Don't let 8K confuse you into thinking this is somehow a cinema level camera. It's going to be priced accordingly. It's not going to match the cinema level construction, the ability to shoot all day long. It's 16 stops of dynamic range, low light performance and all that. This is a hybrid camera. This is going to be in its segment. So don't expect the EOS R5 to blow you away in terms of what cinema cameras can perform. But I'm really looking to see what the photo capabilities of both of these cameras are. Right now, Canon's been marching, giving us development announcements. Any chance they've talked about the R5, but they've focused on the video capabilities. When they did the virtual press conference on April the 20th, all they talked about was how good the video was. And they talked about 10-bit, 422 internal recording, H.265, C-Log, RAW. I mean, it's very powerful in terms of video, but photo, very little, other than we know that both cameras do 12 frames per second mechanical and 20 frames per second electronic. But that's really not much to go on, is it? What's the buffer like? Is it going to be HEIF? And I believe, yeah, actually, no, it is going to be HEIF. The R5, I believe, is going to use HEIF. The R6 will probably use HEIF too. But what's RAW going to be like? What's the bit depth? What's the dynamic range going to be? The 5D Mark IV, I thought the dynamic range was rather terrible on that camera for the price point. So hopefully this camera has significantly better dynamic range. But we'll have to wait and see. But that's it for now. Thanks so much for watching The Ordinary Filmmaker. Don't forget to subscribe to get the latest updates as they come out. And we'll see you again soon.
Thank you for watching The Ordinary Filmmaker. All equipment used and notes are placed in the description box, show more box, or down arrow thingy next to the title on the mobile app.